A very good morning to you. You're listening to the Star Breakfast News on your Simply the Best dial 103.5 FM with me, Nurein Abass. Coming up this morning, ECG staff hit back at Vice President Baumia over sabotage claim, arguing they rather assisted in restoration system after the ransom attack. Also coming up, CDD rubbishes claim by the Electoral Commission that guarantor system is the major contributor of confusion recorded at various registration centers. And later in the bulletin, residents in Kaswa and surrounding areas appeal for improved drainage system to address the issues of vehicular traffic occasioned by downpour. Details of these stories are coming up right after this reminder of our affiliate stations.
Star News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, MyStar Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM. Star News. Informed, in depth, in touch.
Many thanks to you for choosing Star News. Now, staff of the Electricity Company of Ghana have hit back at Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia over claims that they sabotaged digitization of the company. The Vice President, while speaking at the Commonwealth Regional Conference on Corruption, stated that after carefully studying ECG's revenue for some time, he realized that the annual amount accrued was stagnant. Therefore, he instructed that revenue collection be digitalized. However, some IT staff inserted ransomware in a bid to stop the process. Have a listen to him.
And we began the process of digitalizing. Can you believe that workers within the system sabotaged? They put in ransomware and the system essentially collapsed. We had to send in national security, eventually found that it was some of the staff in the IT department who were culpable, and we found the computer from which this ransomware was injected in the system. It took us a while to restore this system. They asked for a ransom, actually, for this to work. Can you imagine? They submitted a bill that we should pay for them to let the system work again. They were arrested, and we restored the system, and we digitalized the system.
So you heard Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, but the Public Utility Workers Union say ECD's ICT Directorate rather spearheaded the digitalization of payments through Power App and USSD as far back as July 2016. According to them, the Vice President only came to launch it. Here are excerpts of their statement.
The ICT Directorate already spearheaded the digitalization of ECG payment systems with the rollout of the ECG Power App and USSD services dating back to July 2016. His Excellency the Vice President was invited as a guest of honor on the 18th of February 2020 to launch the ECG Power App at the head office of ECG. This launch was widely covered in both the electronic and print media. The accusations of sabotage and resistance to the digitalization are not only unfounded, but also damaging to the morale and reputation of our hardworking members. The ECG ICT department has been at the forefront of digitalizing revenue collection for decades, a fact that seemed to have been overlooked.
You heard that statement from the Public Utility Workers Union. Away from that, the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD, has rubbished claims by the Electoral Commission that the guarantor system is the major contributor of confusion and mayhem recorded at the ongoing limited registration exercise across the country. This year's exercise has been marred with varying degrees of issues. The Commission is pushing for complete scrapping of the guarantor system to ensure credible voters register. Dr. Bosman Starr is Deputy Chairperson of the EC and he spoke at a press conference.
We have also noticed that the disturbances occurring at some of our registration centers is due to the fact that some people are doubting the ages of some of the applicants. This is the reason why the Commission has been advocating for the usage of the Ghana card, which has the date of birth and the nationality of the bearers of the card, and the abolition of the guarantor system. We are hopeful that in the next registration exercise, applicants will use the Ghana card as the means of identification.
You had the deputy chairperson of the EC, that's Dr. Bosman Asari, but a research fellow with the CDD, Guilfred Isiama, tells Starr News that the guarantor system cannot solely be blamed with confusion at various centers.
Well, I don't think the guarantor system can be solely blamed for the kind of confusion and violence that we see around the registration. When you examine the issues at play, you can clearly see that either we haven't done enough to build public confidence around the conflict resolution mechanisms for the voter registration. So instead of people picking challenge forms and challenging people, they decide to either prevent them, which is an offense, or even fight them. So clearly, people don't believe or don't even know about the kind of conflict resolution mechanisms and whether when they channel their effort through that avenue, they are going to get the fair results. So I think that's one thing. And we haven't done well in terms of even public education. Public education beyond people going to their registration centers to vote, and then intensifying education about what people are supposed to do whenever they face, some issues that they don't understand when they think somebody that's not qualified to register. We haven't done enough public education on these issues.
You had Guilfred Isiama, a fellow with CDD Ghana. Now, still on elections, the Electoral Commission hopes to register at least 620,000 persons who have attained the eligible voting age of 18 onto the electoral register. These young Ghanaians sure have a significant say who becomes president or member of parliament. The question is, are they really conscious of the weight of what they are signing up for? My colleague Ivan Heathcote Fumado has been speaking to some of these youths whose farms bear the same value as any other adult, determining the outcome of the December 7th general election.
I came around 8 something, so we are still on the process how things will go far.
Kingsley Amprechum, a senior high school student, turned 18 this year. Like his co-equals, he feels proud attaining the age which qualifies him to join a queue to be enrolled on Ghana's voters register.
Because I am a Ghanaian, for me to elect the right person to lead this country, I think that it is necessary for me to come here and do the voters ID so that I can have the chance to vote.
Every year, 450,000 youth turn 18, making them eligible to vote. Across 1,053 registration centers, the Electoral Commission hopes to enroll 623,000 of these youth, as well as other qualified persons who have previously not registered. But do these young folk really understand the gravity of what they are signing up for?
I am a small boy growing up in Ghana, so I don't have any idea about the Ghana politics, what is going on so far. I don't know. Are you happy with the development that you're seeing? Oh, actually, the development that is going on, it is some way, somehow, because they are leaders on there. And so far as, if they know what they are doing is right, they should continue doing it. But if they know that it's not right, it is up to them.
Abuajejedu, another young person eager to be registered onto the electoral roll, has a general view of the right of choices that his voter's ID card entitles him to.
I'm 18 years.
I have turned 18. I have a choice of whom I feel is normal enough to lead the country. Besides, I want development. An advocate for responsible youthful leadership, Clement Ejesafo, contends these newly registered young voters must understand the seriousness of a vote.
Elections are serious matters. If you vote for Party A or Party B, for the next 4 years, you have entrusted your life into the hands of an individual or a group of people. Sometimes we think election is just something we do periodically, but it is life. Election is about lives. Election is about the future.
The executive director of the Youth Enterprise Synergy wants these youngsters to be intentional about doing a good background and track record check of every candidate before casting their first vote in national elections.
They shouldn't just look at party colors. They shouldn't look at how tall or handsome somebody is. They should listen to what they are saying, synthesize and go beyond what the person is saying, and look at the person's character, the person's track record.
Already, the political parties are watching these new eligible Gen Z electorates with hawkish eyes. Apart from the unlawful act of busing, some go to the extent of feeding them breakfast.
For taking good care of us, they have been giving us some meal and something that we need to eat. At the end of the day, they hope that everything will go well.
From now to December 5th, when all electoral campaigning activities are supposed to come to an end, politicians will have to track down these thumbs anyhow, especially on social media, where a majority of them virtually live. Reporting from Kumasi for Starr News, Ivan Heathcote Fumado, Ultimate FM.
Well, residents in Kaswa and surrounding areas are appealing for improved drainage systems to address issues of vehicular traffic occasioned by downpour. Residents in the enclave are forced to endure hours of vehicular traffic whenever it rains. Well, I've been interacting with some motorists and commuters who were adversely impacted by yesterday's rains.
Well, I got to SCC Junction at 5 o'clock, and it's 5 minutes to 9. I'm not halfway through a journey which usually takes 2 minutes.
Is this usual?
Is it what?
Is it usual for this to happen when it rains?
Yeah, when it rains, for sure. This is started well over 10 years ago.
So what do you want government to do about it?
Well, the government will have to everything. They're going to have to look at it for us.
How long have you been walking?
Like, the journey have been 3 hours.
So how long would it take you to get home?
I think 6 hours.
So you mean you have 3 more hours to walk to the house?
Yes.
Wow, would you be able to go to school tomorrow?
Yes.
What time do you usually leave to school?
Like, boom, 5.
You think you can make it to the house and still go to school tomorrow?
Yes.
Well done. How long have you been walking?
For about 3 hours.
Where did you start walking from? From Wager. Where do you live? So are you going to walk to get to the house? Will you go to school tomorrow?
Well, I've been walking for about 15 minutes. I managed to bypass the traffic from Wager Junction because we had a path that we usually take.
Well, you had some frustrated passengers, including students who were stranded and frustrated yesterday, spending more than 5 hours in traffic because of the downpour. Well, that brings us to the end of the breakfast news. There's more news when you log on to starfm.com.gh. I am Nurein Abass. Many thanks for your company. Next is Speak Right, and then Francis Aban comes with the Morning Star. Do have a great day.